I'm going to use the same 32 degrees for my angle, whatever. The opposite side is smaller. So I'm going to switch around the 27 and the 15. So since the 15, the opposite side is smaller, this is when you have two triangles. Now, how do you make the second triangle? Let's talk about that a little bit. So, throw back to geometry. Do we remember what supplements add up to? 180. So the sine of supplementary angles, and I'm just going to prove it to you, is always equivalent. Meaning, if I do the sine, I'm just going to make something up. Let's say 50, there's the sine of 50 degrees. Its supplement would be 130. I got the same exact answer. The sine of supplements are always the same. I mean, I can do this all day. I'm going to do one more case. Let's do 70. And then, of course, the supplement to 70, a little mental math there, 110. Same exact answer. So that's how you're going to make the second triangle. So back to this. To find your second triangle, you're going to use the supplement. And the reason is the sine of supplements is the same, or equal. You'll see that when we get to it. So clearly, it's usually this, I'm not kidding you, that keeps kids from a perfect. This might be the only thing they miss on the mini test. This is what I'm going to kind of focus a little bit more on in your notes, and you'll see, of course, in your homework too. So, first thing I check, my given information, so I know if I got to sweat and think about the two triangles. I'm like, okay, they gave me an angle, side. No ASS, no worries needed, no two triangles. I'm just going to do my stuff. Now, I'm a picture person. This is just me. I see that C is 102, so technically it'd be an obtuse triangle. 102.3. Now, I don't care which is A, which is B. You could have them switched. It doesn't matter. B is 28.7. Now, side B, that is across from angle B. And it wants us to find the remaining sides. Okay, doesn't matter which remaining side we find. I'm going to label them, of course. Across from angle C is side C. That's a lowercase c. It doesn't really kind of look like it, but kind of across from angle A, side A. So, first thing I'm going to do is I always start with an angle and opposite side, which you can see from the given. Angle, opposite side. You have two sets of B's. Angle, opposite side. So I'm going to do the sine of 28.7 degrees over its opposite side. Now, the only other piece of info I have is this 102.3 degree angle. So I'm going to find little c next. So I'm going to do the sine of 102.3 over little c. From here, we're back into some old school algebra cross products. Doesn't matter which diagonal you multiply first. I'm going to do this guy. So 27.4 times the sine. And we can literally type all of that right directly into the calculator, which we'll do here in a second. Then my other diagonal c times the sine of 28.7. I just put c in the front because I like the variable first. You can have it in the back. The word doesn't multiply, it doesn't matter. I just like it in the front. Then we're going to divide off sine 28.7. And I don't need to see all of this little nitpicky algebra work. I know a lot of you can just go to your calculator and start punching it in. Now, I'm not going to bore you and type in every single problem today, but I will punch in this first one. So 27.4 sine 102.3. I'm going to see what that is. And I'm going to divide it by, and you can do it all in one statement if you want. I just didn't because I hate typing on this thing. Now, it doesn't tell you today what to round to, so clearly I don't care. My rule of thumb is I kind of whatever, they're to the 10th, the given information, so I'm going to round this guy to the 10th. So I'm going to put 55.7 for it. Olivia, what do you got?
Calculator problem.
Are you in degrees?
It's worse.
Oh, I'll have to look at it. Let me wait till the end and I'll look at it for you. Now, I don't care if you draw the triangle or label. I like to label. That's just me. So we still need to find side A. So here's the deal. You've got a second round of calculations. I'm going to keep my same blue starting fraction. I'm going to keep that sine 28.7. But now I want to find side A. So we got to do a little work here. Quick question. I need to know what this angle A is. How are you going to figure out angle A? You can do it.
180 minus the.
Yes. All the angles should add to 180. So 180 minus 102.3 minus 28.7. I'm not going to bore you. Punch it in. You should get 49. So now I'm going to go back over here and fill this in the sine of 49. Got it. Same spiel as the last one. Little cross products, etc. Just time consuming, a lot of calculations. For the record, you only have 8 homework problems, so don't freak out too much on it. I'm running out of room. This is a sine of 28.7. And then of course we're going to divide that sine of 28.7 off of each side. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to punch in every problem today because I don't want to bore you with that part of it, but you should end up with, for A, type it in, you should end up with 43.1. And I know, of course, I mean, we're in trig. I don't need to see necessarily all the little nitpicky algebra work because I know I have kids that can see the proportion and just, oh, punch that in the calculator and know they have to divide that off. Totally fine. Long as you have the 2 fractions, the original setup, and the answer, I'm happy with you. Any questions I can answer on that? Olivia will look at your calculator.
Oh, it's all better now.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad.
It was crazy though.
So, first thing I check my info. Angle, oh man, side, angle, side. So I'm worried. Could be 1 normal triangle, could have 2. This could be, remember, no solution is a possibility. Our calculators will tell us that. I like a picture, you know I'm a picture person. So label however you want, ABC. Notice I drew an acute triangle just because of the 58. We'll see what we get here. Cross angle A, side A, and a cross angle B, side B. So I just like to label. Now, I'm questioning the 2 triangles. That's what I'm always questioning, because my calculator will tell me no solution. So I'm just going to click back to the front here a little bit. So 2 triangles, if the opposite is smaller than the adjacent. So let's look at our picture. Is the opposite smaller than the adjacent? Of course it is, because we're going to practice that. We've got to traumatize it a little bit. So this is where I'm thinking about 2 triangles. So triangle, right behind the small too on your notes, because of course 2 triangles. Now I'm going to start out just like we did the first round. Angle, opposite side. So I'm going to start with the A information. I'm going to do sine of 58 over its opposite side. Now, the only other piece of information, because they're always going to give you 3 to start with. There's always 6 parts to a triangle, 3 angles, 3 sides. They're going to give you half of it. They gave you side B, we're going to find angle B. So I'm going to do sine of B over 12.8. So this one I am going to punch in with you just to make sure you remember how to do this from our geometry days. Okay, multiply on your diagonals. So I'm going to have 11.4 sine B, 12.8 sine 58. Now from here, to be honest with you, I usually don't write anything more onto my calculator, because we know to get sine of B by itself, I got to divide 11.4 off. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to type in the right hand side, 12.8 sine of 58. So there's that decimal. I know I have to divide 11.4 off. I'm just going to do it. 4. Okay. I'm going to round that, but I'm going to use that decimal. I'm going to just kind of round it for right now. Sine of B, I got 0.95. Now throw back to the old geo days. To get an angle measurement, I don't just hit sine on the calculator. You have to use sine inverse. You got to do second sine. So I'm going to do sine inverse, second sine. Now, you could just put 0.95. It's going to round yours a little different. I like mine as accurate as possible, but I'm too lazy to type in 0.95T19. So I do the second negative key to pull up the previous answer. I see the angle they gave me in the problem is a whole number, so I'm going to round this guy up to the whole number. So I'm going to put 72 degrees for it. Okay. Now, I know we need to find, let me circle this. I know we need to find angle C, and I know we need little c. I'm going to get to it. But, I know there are two triangles. The given info never changes. A is 58, A is 11.4, B is 12.8. Never changes. But we know the sign of supplements are congruent. So what's the supplement to 72? 108. So my next triangle, I'm going to use 108 for B. So whatever your first angle is that you find, depends on the problem what they give you, whatever your first angle is that you find, you do its supplement to make the second. Now I'm going to work on that some more, and I will. I just want to finish this guy off first. So I got 72 for B. Let's get C. Well, we can do that in our calculator. 58, 72. What's going to be your third angle to make those all add up to 180? So you got 58 and 72. How much more do you need to add to 180? What do you got, Julian? Perfect. So 58 plus 50 plus 72 makes 180. Now, the other thing we need, of course, we need side C. So I gotta go through and do my law of sines and figure out sine of C. So I'm gonna keep my sine 58, more calculations. I'm gonna keep my sine 58 over 11.4. But I'm now gonna swap out the right side. I'm gonna use the 50 degrees, sine of angle C, 50, over little c. That'll give us side C. All right. Cross products, punch it in, you know the drill. Most of you are probably just punching in your calculator. You're going to divide off sine of 58. I'm not going to bore you. I'm just going to tell you what you get, 10.3. So there is everything for our first triangle. I got to do the second yet. It's not going. So just review your first triangle. The given info doesn't change. It doesn't change on the new one either, okay, for the record. But whatever your first angle is that you found, I got its supplement. That's how I got the new B. Well, now we're like in a domino effect. If I change B, isn't that going to change C? So, of course, to find C, they should all add to 180. I'm going to take off my given angle. The given info never changes. Put degree symbols on those. And my new B of 108. So calculate that for me. What's your new C? What do you got? 14. Perfect. Okay, question. If I'm going to use 14, isn't that going to change side C?
Yes.
So I had to recalculate that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this second fraction I had, but I'm going to swap out the 50 to a 14 now. So I'm still going to have the sine of 58 because our original given never changes. But I'm going to change that 50 degrees to 14. I'm going to recalculate the new C. It's the domino effect. It just changes up everything. Cross products. I'm not going to bore you with all the calculator work. You get 3.3. Okay, so just to recap, because like I said, this is the one thing that will keep somebody maybe from 100. And I don't want it to happen to you. Angle side makes you sweat. When your opposite is smaller than the adjacent two triangles I'm worried about. Start off normal law signs, nothing crazy. Once you get that first angle, you're going to generate its supplement to get the second triangle going. Then it's the domino effect. You got to recalculate the third angles and the new third sides. Bunch of calculations. All right. Oh man, I'm mean to you guys. Angle side, side. You're welcome. Okay, 76. I like a picture. You don't have to draw a picture, I just like a picture. All right, little a, little b, 20. So first question, I'll give you a second to draw, see if we get this out. Do you think this is a 2 triangle one?
Yes.
Because the opposite side is smaller. Gosh, I'm so mean to you. So I'm thinking 2 triangles. Because the opposite side, the 18, is smaller than the 20. That's what we're talking about. Okay, great. Let's start at the same. Opposite angle and side. So I'm going to start with the 76 over its opposite side. Now, your other piece of given info is this side, hang on Olivia, of 20. I'm going to work on its angle across B. So sine of B over 20. Now just like always, cross products. And we're going to go to our calculators. I'm going to type this one in too with you, so don't panic if you're ahead of me. And of course, I know a lot of you aren't writing all this stuff. Totally fine. We're going to divide off 18. And don't forget, when we find angle B, I'm not just hitting sine in the calculator. I'm going to have to hit second sine. All right, so I'm going to start typing the top in. 20 sine 76. Got it? Divided by 18. Got it. And then, of course, that makes me a little worried. I'm going to do second sine.
It's an error.
Yes, ma'am. You get this weirdo error message. So what does this mean? Remember I said there was a third possibility I didn't make you write down. No solution. You can't make a triangle happen here. Which means you're like, how does that? Why is that? Why can't we make the triangle happen? Remember I said the problem is it won't be proportional. Across from the biggest angle should be the biggest side. Smallest angle, smallest side. Medium side, medium angle. It just can't make that happen. You can't make a triangle. So no solution. Count on your calculator to tell you. All right, Olivia.
Why can't we just turn the triangle over so then it's not like that?
Turn the
Like so that what if you just flipped it around and then this side would be lower or that side would be
Well, but across from your angle A is always side A. I don't care if you rotate it around, there's always going to be paired up together. I know, darn geometry. All right, last one. Do we worry or not?
No. 8
See my emphasis of the day. But, some of you could look at that. I like a picture. Now, it's obtuse, 110, so I'm just kind of trying to draw it to scale, but we know my artistic skills, or lack thereof. I don't care which is B or C, whatever. Cross from angle A, side A. Cross from angle B, side B. Oh, okay. Feel all right with it. Is the opposite side smaller than the adjacent? Sure is not. So no 2 triangles to worry about. The opposite side's bigger, so this is just a 1 triangle. I mean, maybe no solution if our calculator spits out something weird, but I don't have to worry about the 2 triangles. All right, let's set it up. Sine of 110 over 125. Okay, the only other thing you know is this side here, side B, because it's across from angle B. So I'm going to do sine of B over its opposite side, 100. Now, I just, of course, going to show you, when I do these, I don't really write anything else. I'm ready to go right to my calculator. Because I'm like, okay, here's this diagonal, 100 times sine of 110. Let me get that punched in. Let me quit out of this dumb error message first. 100 sine 110. And then, of course, I know this is my other diagonal. So 125 sine of B. Well, I'm going to have to divide off that 125. And then to get the angle, I have to do inverse. And I'm going to write the steps out for you, but just let's round it. I'm going to put 49 degrees for it here in a minute. But again, if you need to write out the algebra, go for it. 125 sine B, 100. I generally don't. And then, of course, I know I'm going to divide off the 125 and punch it in my calculator. I already forgot. What was it, 49?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, I just rounded the whole unit. I'm not gonna nitpick if you rounded the 10th or something. I just follow the problem. I see everything's whole units, so I'm going whole units on it. All right, no work. Punch it in your calculator. What's angle C?
21.
I like it. So last we have defined side C. So all I'm gonna do is replace this with sine of 21 over C. So I'm gonna start it the same, make my life easy. Sine of 21 degrees over C. So again, I'm hoping, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, we can do this with the least amount of work possible. I can see this is one diagonal. I can punch that in the old calculator. This would be my second one, C times sine of 110. I know I'm gonna have to divide off sine of 110. Of course, if you gotta write it all out, be my guest. Do what you gotta do. And then you're gonna divide off your sine of 110 and punch it in. All right, not to bore you, you don't need to watch me type it in on the calculator. I'm just gonna tell you, I forgot already what the final answer was. Let me look here. I rounded to the whole, of course. You should get 48 for it. All right, so for your homework, it is obviously a worksheet that I have for you. 8 questions. Okay, don't groan here at first. How many do you think are 2 solutions?
2.
4.
4 2 solutions.
Ooh.
I know you're mad at me, I know. But like I said, this is the only thing that sometimes keeps kids from 100. But to offset it, there's 4 2 solutions, 2 no solutions.
Slay.
And then obviously there's 2 just normal 1 triangles. To kind of offset